Jai Hind everyone. So you all know that the recent Russian invasion of Ukraine is currently undergoing, and it has been almost 1 month that Russia continuing its invasion over Ukraine. Both countries suffered severe blow. For Ukraine, its many cities and its all I can say half of the Ukraine is destroyed by the Russian attacks, and for Russia, its economy is suffering from a huge economic crisis. The sanctions that imposed by the Western countries, particularly US, has destroyed the Russian economy. Russia was excluded from the SWIFT international payment system. Many multinational companies has pulled its business from Russia. Western countries put an embargo on the Russian oil and natural gas, which shows that the Russian economy is crippling at a very rapid rate. And the recent data shows that $1 is currently equal to the 102 and 110 Russian ruble, so which shows that Russian economy is deteriorating at a very rapid rate. That Russian invasion of Ukraine also affect the India-Russia relationship as well. And as you've seen that recent import of Russian oil and gas has put India under a major pressure, and put India under a risk of great threat from the US. So Russia's invasion of Russia also put India under a greater risk for the Indo-Russia relationship as well. So Jai Hind everyone. So today I, Vikrant Pawar, is here to discuss about the Indo-Russia relationship. As you know that in 2014, our Prime Minister has visited the Russia and met his counterpart, that is Russian President Vladimir Putin. During his visit, he made a very important statement regarding the Indo-Russia relationship, that time has changed but our friendship has not. And I can say that India really means that statement. Certainly time has changed but our relationship has not. Our relationship that exists, our friendship has not changed. Our friendship that exists in the 1980s or during the Cold War era is certainly same as it exists today, or I can even say that it is more stronger than it exists even before. Our relationship, or I can say our relation with Russia, has been a key pillar for the Indian foreign policy. Russia has always been long-standing, time-tested friend for India, whether it be 1971 war when US sent its fleet on the Bay of Bengal, and on the other hand, Russia sent its warships, nuclear submarine, nuclear warships to counter the US attack on the western border, western coast of India. So Russia has always shown its friendship towards India. The relationship between India and erstwhile USSR, or we can say Soviet Union, is highly cordial, and I can say both enjoy a very strong military, diplomatic or economical relations with each other. But after the disintegration of Soviet Union in 1991, as you all know that the Soviet Union was disintegrated in 1991, which resulted into the 13 member countries that currently surround the Russia. At that time, disintegration of Soviet Union, Russia is also one of the 13 countries, and Russia inherited the close ties with India. Traditionally, as I talk about the traditional relations, the relationship between India and Russia has been covered many strategic areas of cooperation. Like we cooperate in the areas of defense, we cooperate in the areas of civil nuclear energy, anti-terrorism in space. So the relationship between India and Russia has been traditionally very good. In 2000, both the countries signed a declaration on India-Russia strategic partnership, and the same partnership was upgraded in 2010 to the special and privileged special status to the Indo-Russia relationships, which show that the Russia has given a special status, or I can say a privileged status, to the relation of both the country. And both the countries also engage on many international forums. Like I can say that both countries engage on SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and BRICS, that is a grouping of 5 member countries, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, and both countries are the members of NSG, that is the nuclear supplier groups, and both countries are also part of the United Nations Security Council. And the continuous support of Russia to the permanent membership of India in the United Nations Security Council shows that the both countries share a very cordial relation and are expanding their relationship year by year. And if I talk about the relation on terms of different aspect, if I start with defense relation, As you know that according to a report by SIPRI, that is the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, India is the largest buyer, or I can say India is the largest importer of Russian military hardware. Approximately 45 to 50% of our military hardware comes from Russia. We are 50% dependent on our military hardware from Russia. But it is seen that in the recent year, this relationship has evolved from buyer-seller to jointly collaboration in defense research and innovation. Currently, both the countries are working together in the defense research. India is making, or India is developing the hypersonic cruise missile, or I can say the hypersonic version of BrahMos missile that we are developing in the collaboration with Russia. India also developed the Sukhoi 30 MKI. We are looking for the indigenous version in collaboration with Russia, the Kamov 22T helicopter. So we are cooperating with Russia in many aspects, particularly in the defense, to make our defense on the verge of indigenization of defense forces. And recently, as you know, that the Russia and India agreed to develop a AK-203 rifle, and the manufacturing of that rifle was placed in the Uttar Pradesh, Amethi district of Uttar Pradesh, which shows that the countries are very keen in expanding or in engaging with each other. We have bought the S-400 under the threat of the CARSA sanctions of the US, but India, despite of that fact, bought the Russian military hardware. And next is the defense, or next is the economic relation. Both the countries have a trade relation of approximately $10 to $15. But according to me, this trade relation is very low. I can say very low as compared to the trade relation between Russia and China. Russia and China bilaterally trade with each other approximately $110 to $120 billion, which is 10 to 12 times higher than the trade between India and Russia. So what is the need of the offers to expand our trade relation with Russia, so that we can stop Russia to getting more aligned toward the China. So what is the need of the hour to expand our trade relation? And by the recent decision and by the recent targets by both the countries, said that the both countries are looking to enhance their bilateral trade by 2025 to approximately $30 billion, which is a good step, which is a good sign between both the countries. As you know that in the month of December, Russian President Vladimir Putin visited India for the 21st India-Russia annual summit, which is an annual summit by both the countries. And under that summit, 28 agreements were signed between both the countries, which included many aspects, particularly the oil and natural gas, fertilizers, coking coal, and one of the important agreement in that is the extension of military technical cooperation between both the countries for another 10 years. Russia is also engaging on the nuclear energy with India currently, and the relation between both the countries in terms of nuclear energy expanding day by day. Russia is developing, or I guess Russia is implanting a nuclear power plant which is called the Kundalam nuclear power plant in Tamil Nadu, which is set up and collaborated by both Russia and India. So which shows that our dependency on Russia also important in terms of nuclear energy. So particularly Russia is very important for nuclear energy and for the oil and natural gas for India. So this is all about the fact of the India-Russia relationship. And at last, if I come to the conclusion, yes, we are currently walking a tightrope between the US and the Russia. As you know that the Russia has provided a discounted rate of oil and natural gas towards India. Approximately 35 to 40% discount was given by Russia to its oil and natural gas, and currently India is currently importing its high oil and natural gas from the Russia, which put India under a threat, or I can say under a great danger from the sanctions that put by the Western countries and particularly the US. And US is currently warning India to cut our oil and natural gas imports from the Russia. But it's quite interesting to see how India goes with its direction and how India goes its relation with the Russia. So that's all. Thank you, gentlemen.